explore the wisdom of the revered Narada Bhakti Sutras, a cornerstone of Hindu devotion. With His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda, experience 45 enlightening lessons on the essence of Bhakti Yoga. Discover the path to pure love for God and transcend the material world. Embrace the teachings that have guided devotees for centuries. Attain spiritual perfection through devotion. Prepare to understand the depths of divine love. Find your path to spiritual enlightenment. Trust in the sutras. Follow these instructions. Be blessed with devotion. And now, His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda.
वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानंदं कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुं. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, bestower of immortality. The insight into bhakti that continues based on Narada Bhakti Sutras. To reiterate, I've explained to you stages or steps leading to the climax of devotional movement. The first, Anukulya Sankalpa. In your mind there develops a will. May I move towards God. The whole world is controlled by God, sustained by God. So should I carry the problems of the world or should I handle it in His hands? And that requires deep insight. How do you become in harmony with God's will? Simple answer is Chitta Shuddhi, purity of heart. Remember Kabira's song. Kabira man nirmal bhayo, jaise Ganga neer, paache lage hari fire, Kabir Kabir. Kabira, the great saint and poet, says that he strived to attain God realization and he found God always running away from him. So he brought about purity of mind, as pure as the Ganges water. And to his shocking surprise, he saw he doesn't have to find God. God was after him, said, Kabira, Kabira. It's a very simple illustration. Look at a lake full of waves, then it doesn't reflect the sky. Though it seems that every wave in it is trying to catch the sky. But all it happens is all the waves simply shimmer. But the moment the waves calm down, it is not trying anything. The whole sky enters into it. The sky is reflected in it. Your mind operates in the light of God. God is the source of your mind, intellect, and ego. As long as the mind is trying to find God led by ego, without removing the impurities of the heart, so long you find you cannot understand God is with you. It's simply, you hear people say, and sometimes you may think they are crazy. Though you have glaring facts of God supporting you. When you came as a child, even prior to that, how did the Spirit come? Why did you enter into a particular family? All that, and your whole mechanism, the body, how it is being maintained, your intricate nervous system. Even the most advanced science doesn't have all the names of all the nerves. And brain eludes the grasp of all powerful brains. In the face of all those glaring facts, to say, where is God, is ridiculous. However, such is the miracle of agitated heart. But the moment that agitation calms down, heart is pure. It doesn't have to be absolutely pure, but to the extent it calms down, to that extent you begin to become aware that you are sustained by God. God, who is infinite love. There's twofold movement in mind. To find target of absolute love, to love someone who can be absolute, and to be loved in an absolute way. And God is the answer. In fact, through the drama of life, from life to life, you experience love coming up to you as mother's love. In turn, you become a source of joy and love to the mother. You love and you are loved. And this drama is enacted life after life. And when you move away from one embodiment to another, what happened to all those people who loved you, people whom you loved? Fortunately, there is no way to trace it. Otherwise, people will be busy. Busy with their websites, catching hold of those from whom you are separated. Therefore, when I look at the world, how do those thousands of birds fly such a long distance, and they come back and find their babies? They don't carry cell phones. They have no IDs. They have no geographical study. Which direction, how? When you face all this, and I'm just giving only a little pinch here and there, look at the stars in the sky. Even the light from the pole star takes nearly 8 or 9 years. While you see it, you're not seeing it of today. 9 years past. But that's only one of them, countless. The Milky Way and all the immensity of the universe. And marvel of marvels, this immensity of the universe and all its multicolored grandeur, you are able to experience through your 5 senses. One sense out, 1/5 of the world is gone. 2 senses out, 2/5 of the world is gone. The 5 senses enable you to experience and collect the data of the vast universe. And all those 5 senses are being regulated by your mind. And mind is guided by your intellect. Intellect is operating under the guidance of God. The light of God is inspiring that intellect. Ego suddenly jumps up and takes the credit. I did it. In devotional movement, this ego has to dissolve. It has to become pliable, humble, and transparent. Anukulya sankalp, to develop that will, may I attain God realization. And we develop that insight that God is within you, supporting you, sustaining you at all times. It's a matter of how to realize Him, how to purify the heart. So that will develops within you, a aspiration, may I attain God realization. Next point is pratikulya varjan. Go on removing that which contradicts your spiritual progress. Your movement to God is obstructed if you go on developing kama, krodha, lobha. Kama is obsessive passion. Krodha is anger. Lobha, greed. These are the major factors that create impurity in the mind. The more they develop, ego gains more and more power. When the energy of the mind is locked up by anger, greed, then you find you become extremely sensitive in relation to your ego. Always looking at who is talking against me, who is my friend, who is my enemy. Ego conscious. Of course, most people are, but ego that tends to develop egocentricity, pride, conceit in an abnormal way. That development is pratikulya, contrary to spiritual movement. Third, mahavishwas, supreme trust, unflinching faith. Next, karpanya. Karpanya is you become so aware of being encompassed and enfolded by God that your attention cannot be drawn to any other aspect of the world. Your attention cannot be drawn by rajasic, tamasic activities. Tamasic is all based on anger, hate, etc. The rajasic is all on the basis of hypocrisy and vanity. The sattvic activity, which has positive aspect. But your mind begins to rise beyond all these three modes of nature. Text is called Goptritva Varan. God and you are in absolute secrecy. How close you are to God, how close God is to you. It's something that you alone know. Even if you try to tell others, you will be unable to tell. It's absolute secret. Not because you want to keep it secret, but the fact is you cannot, there is no way to communicate. And there is no need to communicate. As I said last time, that if you have found a wonderful pearl of immense value, you don't go out into the market so dangling it. Tell me, see what I have found, see what I have found. Rather, you will hide it very close to your heart. Finally, Atmanikshet, absolute surrender. The ego melts away. That's God realization. The sutra now I'm handling is 9th sutra that gives the more insight into Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti, where devotion has led your mind to be focused on God, God and God alone. There's nothing else. There is no anya. Anya means other than God. Ananyashrayanam tyago ananyata. Giving up all other support is called single-minded devotion. Ananya bhakti. Scriptures have to be always studied under guidance. Otherwise, the simple idea comes to your mind, well, either we have God or the world. So let me shake off this world. But what do you do? Actually, how can you shake it? Wherever you go, you are carrying your body. Body is the whole world with you. Wherever you carry your body, you are carrying your shadow. Your circumstances, your karmas follow you. So how can you just say, oh, nothing with the world, let me shake it all off? It's a subtle movement within your mind to understand that even though you are supported by your chair, if you are sitting on it, yet actually you are supported by God who supports your chair and supports you. Even though you are supported by the earth, in reality, God supports the earth, and thereby He supports you. Mind always needs a support. During sleep state, you become supportless. You don't have your body support you. You don't have your senses. You don't have mind and ego. You are supportless. And yet something mysterious encompasses you, which is so joyous. What you experience in sleep, if you could understand its positive counterpart, that is, consciously being able to step beyond the ego. In sleep, you step beyond your ego unconsciously. Someone does it for you. But if you could do it for yourself, to jump out of your ego consciously and view the whole world process as a witness, then you find amazing cataract of rays of light showering upon you, coming from the Absolute. All that's needed is just ego to move away a little. When you realize all the supports that you thought were supporting you, they don't really exist. In other words, there is no negation of practical reality. You attend on your body, you attend on people to whom you are related, you attend upon your duties. But before you developed bhakti, you always thought ego was able to do all those things. I did it. It's my intelligence, not her or not his. That now your mind begins to understand that God and God alone is the reality. Also, each term is used in different contexts. If you are practicing meditation, you need a support for your mind. What am I to meditate on? So the sages have created a support. God can be worshipped as Krishna, as Rama, as Shiva. Support can be concrete, can be abstract. As long as your mind has not been led to greater discipline, abstract is difficult. To tell a person, sit down, close your eyes and meditate upon compassion of God. We don't know what compassion looks like. Meditate upon the beauty of God. But we would tell, sit down, meditate, look at Krishna's picture, look at his peacock feather up on the head. Beautiful. So there is something, concrete is easier. That's called support. We give support to you as long as the mind has not entered into abstract dimension. But once you can get into abstract, you are meditating God as His presence is sweetness of a mother. Sweetness that you have to evolve by your own sensitivity, for which there is no form. Or His bliss, joy. What the form of a joy? In the early stage, the form is, look at the laughing flowers, the smiling flowers. So flower gives you that suggestion. It's concrete. Abstract, there is no form. But even though there is no form, it is something valid, profound, something that you can experience. So you are gradually led from physical, concrete to abstract, even from abstract to profounder level where ego and intellect all are transcended. So that's called being supportless. Realize God is the only support. Kabira, Saint Kabira says, Pritam chavi nayanan basi, par chavi kahan samaye. Bhari saray rahim laki, aap patik firi jaye. A very simple statement. The beauty of my beloved has entered my eyes. Now my eyes are no longer interested in looking at anything else. Become helpless. Another aspect has developed. The mind has become like a place, suppose it's like a hall filled with joyous ceremony and festivities going on. So full that there isn't any place, not an inch. And there come strangers, vultures, crow-like, kama, krodha, lobha, those negative sentiments of your mind, they want to come. And they look through a little hole. The whole hall is so overfull, there is no place. They will be crushed. It gives you an idea of ananya bhakti. The mind is so immersed in God's love that it has no room for spending time over thinking of the world led by ego, expectations for future, remembering about the past, worrying about things. All that has moved away from your mind. You must realize the process is progressive. Don't expect it overnight, it will happen. In a missionary way, yes. Say, glory to God. How many of you have been blind? And they stand up. They've already enacted drama. They're healed. That is not expected. Movement is progressive. The next verse, next sutra says, Loke Vedeshu Tadanukula Acharanam Tad Virodhishu Udasinata. Indifference towards all that is contrary to devotion. There is a subtle sensitivity in every individual, what's called conscience. The moment you move away from your attunement with God, that conscience begins to pinch you very sharply. It happens even though in all people, the moment you do something contrary to your dharma, your righteousness, nature has a way of speaking to you by just creating in your heart a little pinch. That people become insensitive under the influence of negative associations, etc. But those who are wise, they go on enhancing that conscience. That even slightest error on your part and your conscience immediately informs. Think of the dust falling on your body. And body doesn't inform you. The dust falling on your eye, immediately the eyes inform you that it's wrong. Those who have not purified their heart, not developed that subtle link with God, in them it's like body type. Impurities come, unless it becomes too much, you are not aware. The body also, if you get impurity in it and the swarm of mosquitoes start buzzing over, you become aware. But it's crude awareness. But in your eyes, immediately, even the slightest speck, that type of sensitivity should be developed in your heart. You don't have to really develop it. It is a kind of revelation. As impurities move away, your heart is purified. Then you become immediately aware that you are taking wrong steps. And you become aware what are the things that are contrary to your spiritual movement. From broad point of view, moha. Moha is delusion, deluded love. Raga. You convince yourself that happiness will come through a particular object, through a particular combination of circumstances. And that now becomes a source of great stress for your mind. Even though you are outwardly not fettered, not chained, raga creates that effect. Objects to which you are attached, you become fettered to them through your raga. Handle all things, that's again, with devotion to God. Ramakrishna gave the example of handling jackfruit by besmearing oil in your hands. Jackfruit is gluey. If you don't think of jackfruit, think of the platanos, plantains. Apply some butter on your fingers and handle them. You will not have that glue sticking to your hands. In the same way, apply the butter of devotion, devotional feeling in your mind. Then go on handling all things of the world, all practical realities. And that, the buttering that you have done to your mind, that will keep you always detached. You will handle all things, but since God is a source of inspiration in your mind, Since you are aware that is God whom you are serving through people, then you are not creating raga. You're not creating the illusion how wonderful this personality has been, and or how wonderful this setup of situation is. And may God always give me that. In practical world, till this lesson comes to everyone, a mother loves her child profoundly. Day by day, the child has become much more source of joy. But at the same time, there is an awareness the child has to grow out of. Your moha should not hold him. So moha is obstructive to devotion. The movement towards devotion is experience of love. Love as it becomes much more and more purified. Love as it becomes more and more intrinsic. Absolute love is same as God. One needs to develop udasinata. Udasinata means indifference. Indifference towards the world. Do not go on impressing your mind with the idea that the world is the reality and you have to make some change in this world or contribute to the world something. And so your mind is always impressed by the history of the past, what's going to be in the future. And there is nothing left for you to think of yourself. What are you going to do yourself? You may interpret it as being selfless. He's like a patient in a hospital, constantly worried about every patient in the hospital. And keeps a record of all the doctors and how they deal with the patients. But ignores his own trouble. Your mind should develop a sense of detachment, a sense of indifference, not in a negative way. By understanding the world you are experiencing is not the reality. Nothing in the world has been ever straightened. Nobody did it. And dosha drishti, if you are not moving towards God realization, then every experience in this world is creating impressions, it's intensifying your karma. Even most pleasant situations, they end up creating bondage for you. Sarvam dukham vivekina. Normal pain is pain. Everybody knows that. But even pleasure, when you begin to understand its after effects and the illusion involved in it, that's a bigger pain. Pain in the eye. The other one is pain in the body. Because even if it is a sandal particle has entered your eye, it's a pain. To the body, it is something wonderful. So, as mind advances, then what normally people consider great joy, great pleasure, great fortune, advanced mind is not duped by that. So that dosha drishti has to go on developing in your life, which means your mind must be always aware your body is mortal. All things in the world that you attain, anityam, asukham, they all have to pass. But what are you achieving in a concrete manner? The answer, of course, is if you go on developing devotion to God, that's your real achievement. Now, the next sutra tells that When you develop this indifference and dosha drishti, seeing the defect in all the pleasures of the world, it should not lead you to negate the scriptures. It should not lead you to negate satsanga. No matter how confused you may be, scriptures are your guide. So Shastra Rakshanam, protect the scriptures and scriptures will protect you. Anyatha patit ashankya. If you do not follow the teachings of the scriptures, do not receive inspiration from the scriptures, then there is the risk of falling. You may rise high, but suddenly ego may delude you. There are so many stories in the scriptures. Narada sat in deep meditation. Astral plans, angels and others came to distract his mind. But in spite of all that force exerted on him, all the temptations given to him, he remained untouched. Now, when he ultimately came to normal consciousness, to realize he achieved something that even great gods had difficulty achieving. So he comes to Lord Vishnu's place, and Lord Vishnu asks him, "Where have you been, O sage? I haven't seen you for a long time." And he says, "I have been doing austerity." And then he starts telling how he remained unmoved, and he was able to defeat all the temptations of the world, the greatest of temptations. Immediately, that was also the purpose of Lord Vishnu, to make him bring out his problem, his real disease. And immediately Lord Vishnu realized he has developed terrible ego. He needs egodictomy. And Narada is led into many experiences. So therefore, scriptures must be your guide. Otherwise, there is a possibility of fall. Now, Bhakti Yoga gives Tat Lakshanani, those who are developing Ananya Bhakti. What are the characteristics? What is the major aspect of devotion that one must adopt? And there are different views. Sage Vyasa's view is puja. Puja is the predominating theme of your movement to God. Puja means worship, adorations. Sage Garga, his view is that be immersed in listening to the stories of God or scriptural teachings. Try to develop more than 2 years. Be more and more immersed. And ask God, may I have 1,000 years? Not YEAR. Tulsidas says, Ram Katha Sundar Kartari, Sanshaya Vihag Udavan Hari. A simple illustration is given. There is a young man who is given the responsibility of taking care of a field which things have been sown in it and they are growing. And a farmer youth sits there, watches, and he has to go on removing any bird comes in or an animal comes in, he has to just go on removing them from that in order to protect that farm. Tulsidas says, here is a wise caretaker. He sings the story of Rama. While he sings, he claps. Now the clapping is no longer stressful. Where the birds are coming or not doesn't matter. His clapping removes them. In spiritual harvesting, doubts, they are different types of birds. They spoil your spiritual harvesting of good thoughts and positive vasanas. But if you experience joy by studying scriptures, they are wonderful stories. So, automatically, the very act of listening and the very act of being thrilled and dancing on the basis of what you have listened to, that's enough to drive away all those birds of doubts. Sage Shandilya his view is Atmarati, being attached to the Atman, the self. Shankaracharya's view also is similar. Moksha karana samagryam bhakti reva gariyasi. Of all different means of attaining liberation, devotion is the highest. And what is devotion? Swaswarupānusandhānam. Go on exploring your essential nature. Who am I? Try to understand nothing in this whole world is so lovable as you yourself. So then the question is, who am I? So the more you explore your I am, greater is the fulfillment of love. Until you find that I am enforce the entire universe. Narada, on the other hand, says, Tadarpanam, surrender all that you do to God. And whenever there is slight forgetfulness of God, you feel pain. You feel strange type of discomfort. These different views are not meant to contradict each other, but meant to support each other. All these views are supplementary, complementary, and they have to be directed towards the development of devotion. And with this we can conclude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.